Acts chapter 4 verse 33. And with great power, the apostles gave witness not to the cross, to the resurrection. Not to the cross, not to his bed. They gave witness to the resurrection. If there was no resurrection, they wouldn't have anything to give witness to. If the man was trapped in the grave, there will not be any gospel. The gospel is incomplete without the resurrection. We are not preaching a powerful cross. Only we are preaching an empty tomb. If the resurrection was a scam, there won't be witnesses to it. As powerful as the cross is, if the tomb was not empty, we have a powerless gospel. Philippians chapter 3 verse, that I may know him, not a dead man. The person he is trying to know is not a dead man, that I may know him. Do you know why he wants to know him? He's alive. And the power of, not power of the resurrection, of his, the resurrection. The power, two key words there. Power and his. It is his own. He owned it. His resurrection. But he said it's the power of it. That means that resurrection did not happen without power. If the resurrection of Jesus did not happen without power, anything you want to resurrect must be by power. Power was needed for Immaculate Conception. Why was power needed in all of these things? Because there were things that wanted to stop it. There were forces that wanted to stop the birth. There were forces that wanted to stop the resurrection. So power was needed. There were striking similarities between his birth and his death. And the Lord told me it was a setup. Anything that didn't stop the birth will not stop the death and resurrection. You see, anything that didn't stop you from seeing this year will not stop you from maximizing your destiny this year. Everything was a setup. The birth, power of the Most High needed to overshadow Mary for the birth to happen. Power of the Most High needed to break through that grave for him to walk out. At birth, we saw power. At death, resurrection, we saw power. What was the name of the woman the angel spoke to? What was the name of the woman who came to her? When he was raised from the dead, what was the name of the woman that first heard it? I said anything that didn't stop the birth will not stop the resurrection. An angel visited a woman, announced the birth. An angel visited a woman, announced the resurrection. The name of the woman at birth was Mary. The one at resurrection, Mary. Guess what? Another Mary, not the same Mary. What was the name of the man that preserved the birth? What was the man that preserved his body at death? Not the same Joseph, they are different. Everything was intentional. They didn't stop his arrival. They won't stop the ascension. They didn't stop you from arriving on earth. You would have been aborted in the womb. Because you were not stopped, I know you cannot be stopped in destiny. When they looked for where to put the man at birth, it was a womb that no man has ever used. When they wanted to bury him, it was a tomb that no man has ever used. Do you think it was a coincidence? A womb no man has ever used. That was where he entered at bed. A tomb no man has ever used. That was why the resurrection could not be stopped. There was a template at work. Who were those that tried to kill him, silence him at bed? Soldiers. Who were those that were sponsored to make sure he doesn't come out of the grave? If they had succeeded, anything that didn't succeed as stopping you at bed, that's how I know. If you are trying to look for any evidence, if you are going to amount to anything in life, if you are looking for an answer, if you are looking for a reason, if you will turn out well, one outstanding reason I have, whatever that didn't stop your birth cannot stop your rising. You see, now you are an adult that Satan can just take out your life. It was very easier when you were a baby. At birth, he was put in a linen cloth, in a manger. At death, they wrapped an adult man in the same linen cloth. God looked at the template at birth, reproduced it at death, so that the things that didn't stop the birth will not stop the resurrection. Oh death, where is your sting? You know a scorpion, it can sting. Oh death, where is that thing? If it is not in place, you can't take people anyhow. Oh Hades, where is your victory? The greatest threat to resurrection is not soldiers. What is the sting of death? The sting of death is, hold on. So death, this thing people are scared of, has no power. The power of death is sin. So the Lord told me, he said, I took care of this thing from birth so that it won't hold him at death. He said, if I compromised his birth, I would have compromised his resurrection. That was why his birth was immaculate. That was why from birth, no trace of sin. Joseph did not sleep with Mary, you know. So there was no way the sin of man could enter his blood. So his blood was pure. So the issue of this thing was taken care of at his birth.